Michael Oliver. Should we talk about him again? I did a video not long ago about the corruption in football and about the potential of Michael Oliver being corrupt as a referee against Arsenal. And I wanted to talk about the Man City stuff and the Newcastle fan that he is and how he's got decisions wrong about Arsenal for quite some time now. And I look at this decision and I'm sorry, people. I don't know how anyone can believe that's a red card. A lot of people have said that they can understand why it's been given and it studs up and that Lewis Skelly knows what he's doing. I think it's BS. I've got to be real. And people that know me and they listen to me know that I'm not somebody that goes in on the referees. I don't care. If you're blaming the referees for a bad result, then there's something wrong with your team. And to be fair, if we would have got a bad result today, I would have said that. I would have said, let's not worry about the referee. He's got it wrong, but look at our performances. And because we've got the 3 points now, a lot of the Arsenal fans will now no longer look at Michael Oliver. But I'm going to today. And for the first time in a long time, I'm going to actually ask the question, how bad of a referee is Michael Oliver? Because there's no way that that is a red card. People will look at the studs in, people will look at the late tackle. But even when you look at it and you see it, it's still harsh. There's no way that's a red card. People, come on, just be real. Even rival fans that are watching this now laughing. That's not a red card, is it? It's not a red card. Now, maybe you look at it and think, he's evened it out now and the decision had gone against Wolves and they've now gone down to 10 men. But that could have been a straight red as well. So how is that not a straight red? That's a second yellow, apparently. But our one was a straight red? I mean, make it make sense. I've seen so many inconsistencies in this game. And this is not just on Michael Oliver now, by the way. This is on referees in general that have gone through the kind of level of training that they've gone through and the level of officiating in the Premier League, I believe, has always been shocking. I think we've got one of the most competitive leagues in the world. I'm not going to say it's the best league in the world, but it's certainly one of the most competitive. And we've got one of the worst referees selections in a long, long time. Look, I think we've got to discuss how bad that decision is. The Lewis Skelly decision is just a madness for me. And I don't think anybody can sit there and honestly believe, even as a rival fan, that this guy has gone in there maliciously. This is not a malicious tackle. This is a late tackle. This is a foul. And I'm more than happy to even suggest that it is a yellow card. But for anyone believing this is a red card, give your head a wobble, man. There's no way that is a red card. Look, I did my best to watch the game today. I wasn't able to go to the game today, but I don't think that anybody in their right mind believes that that is anywhere near a red card. Fortunately, it hasn't ruined the game, result-wise, but it could have. It could have. Like, let's just be real, it could have. There's a lot of people that have said that red cards make massive, massive impacts on games, and I think that maybe if Wolves would have had 10 men for longer, it could have changed it. But if they would have had 11 men for longer, it would have changed it. So, look, it hasn't affected our result today, thank God. But it is a poor decision. Let's just concentrate solely on that decision. There is no way that Miles Lewis-Skelly has gone in there maliciously. There's no way that he's gone in there to try and studs up on the guy and break his ankles. And I think that when there is a tackle like that. Perhaps we haven't seen it in modern time and in modern football. But over the years, I can tell you many, many times where players have gone in midfield or up top that have gone in with studs in. So I look at the situation right now and I've watched it and I've watched it and I've watched it and I've slowed it down even. And even, do you know what? In slow replay, you can see he hasn't gone in to try and hurt the player or injure the player. And you know what? Michael Oliver could not wait to get that out. He could not wait to get that red card. It's like, boom, done. Straight away. Red card, off you go. Did it go to VAR? Did it even go to VAR? I mean, look, I'm not going to say it did or didn't because I wasn't there and I wasn't watching it live. But from what I can understand, it looked like it was just given and VAR didn't even get involved. And they're like, yeah, Michael Oliver said it's a red. It must be a red. Was it? Does anyone actually believe that was a red card? Please tell me. Tell me in the comments. If you think I'm being silly, I'm being bitter or a head loss moment or over the top or biased, please, I'd love to understand why that is a red card. Why did it not go to VAR? And if it did, what did they see that made it believe that it was a red card? That's what I want to be looking at first. So, look, going to get into the game now, and I'm going to talk about the team selection. I think Martin Odegaard being dropped was probably one of the biggest shocks. It doesn't look like it was dropped. It looks like he's completely out of the squad. I've not heard anything on that. So maybe Odegaard is completely out of this now and is injured and is not fit. Marino not on the bench either, which was a bit of a surprising one. So those two players look to be out at the moment. Saliba returning is massive. Miles Lewis-Skelly, albeit got sent off, but him returning is fantastic as well. And the rest of the team, I think, picks itself. Ethan Nwaneri starting in the Odegaard role. Other than Odegaard and Saka, though, I would say that was our strongest team. And now let's talk about the disappointing stuff. We created chances again, and we did not put them away. And we are into the last week of January now. And there's no rumours of any signings. Sesko Cunha, who started today, funnily enough, wasn't outstanding, but certainly caused some problems when on the ball. No news. No news we're going to be signing anyone. And that's what's really sad. Really, really sad that we're in a position now where we look towards January thinking who's coming in. 1, 2, 3 players like Manchester City. They've gone and signed 2 centre-halves. They've gone and got their attacker in Marmoush. They're looking at getting Douglas Luiz and Campiasso. And what are we doing? Nothing. That's what we're doing. Maybe we're praying that Marcus Rashford wants to come to Arsenal. Maybe we're looking at Evan Ferguson as a loan. Maybe we're looking to see what Cunha wants and what Wolves want and all this nonsense. But for me, I've lost interest now. Look, I'm glad we got 3 points. We needed to. We needed to get across the line. And it's a great goal from Calafiori in the second half. But it's come from our left back, who's come on for our left back who got sent off. Kai Havertz today. You've got to score. You're our number 9. And I don't even blame Kai. That performance from Kai Havertz is what I've expected to see for a while. Missing chances, falling on the floor every 5 minutes, rolling round for a few minutes like Drogba used to years ago. He replicates everything I don't like in football, I'm afraid. Kai Havertz is a player that is a squad player that should be coming on for 20 to 25 minutes, but he's our number 9 right now. That's not good enough. And it should never be good enough. I'm sorry. It should never be good enough to accept that as our number 9. But we do somehow. He's not good enough, people. He's not good enough, and he's never been good enough. And unfortunately, he's never going to be good enough to take us to 20 to 25 goals. He scored 14 goals, 22 games quicker than last year. Well, that's because he was playing in bloody midfield for the first 20 games of last season. The people thick. He's now playing up top, and he started to score as much as he did last season. I don't believe Kai Havertz is anywhere near good enough to take Arsenal to a title. But some people will have you know that they will. Martinelli today, poor. Trossard today, hardly touched it. That front three is one of the worst front threes Arsenal have ever had. And I've seen some poor front threes. Yeah, I've seen Shamak and Bentner up front, people. I've seen Francis Jeffers up front. I've seen Eddie Nketiah up front. I've seen Gervinho out wide. I've seen Joel Campbell out wide. I've seen Glenn Helder out wide. These players right now are replicating those names because there is nothing about our front line that looks elite. There's nothing about it that looks clinical. And unfortunately, we're in a position where we have to just be honest with ourselves and admit that we need something in our attack. And everyone knows that. You can shout names at me. Bring in Nico Williams. Bring in Cunha. Bring in Mitoma. Bring in Mbeumo or Kudus or Semenyo. Bring up top Evan Ferguson. Bring Marcus Rashford. All these names I'm getting thrown at me. And I'm just like, meh. There's only Gyökeres or Isak that takes us to the next level. Isak scored another 2 goals today, by the way. And I've said this for a while, that he is the one that is absolute dream level. Then you've got the situation with who do we bring in this window? It's not going to be Isak. It's not going to be Gyökeres. It doesn't look like it's going to be Victor Osimhen. They're my front 3. They're my top 3, should I say. Other than that, Cunha, yeah. Mbeumo, yeah. Semenyo, yeah. I'll take these players. They're not going to take us across the line. Like elite level, are they? That's the problem we've got. They're not elite level. So look, Michael Oliver, today, you tried to do your best to ruin the game again. I genuinely believe there's something there now. I've never believed that we should be one to blame referees, and you can go back and check all my videos out. But Michael Oliver, what is it you've got against Arsenal? There's something, because that is never a red card, my friend. That is never a red card. Ethan Nwaneri getting subbed at half-time was actually frustrating for me, because I thought he was one of the only players that was driving forward on the ball, and I would like to see him in that position a hell of a lot more. If Odegaard's injured now, I don't know what's happened with him. Maybe we'll see Ethan playing in there. When Trossard moved into the middle, it didn't quite look right. I thought Thomas Partey looked good today. Defensively, we were fine. I didn't think any of the back five looked like they were struggling. I've got to mention David Raya, actually, because he kept us in the game a few times. They had a really good couple of opportunities, Wolves. And I thought David Raya was really good today. And I've got to start to say that I'm not going to say I was wrong about Raya, because I thought he was a good goalkeeper. I never thought he was elite level. I never thought he was elite level ahead of Ramsdale. But in the last sort of 12 to 18 months, you have to say that Mikel Arteta has got that decision right, because he is an upgrade on Aaron Ramsdale. He is better. He's better with his feet. He's better in terms of reflexes. I think he's got more telepathy with his team. I think when we're playing out from the back, he looks more comfortable on his feet. His distribution is definitely better. So fair play to David Raya, man. I've got to say that. So that's where I'm at, people. We take the 1-0 win. We move to the next game. And yeah, let's make sure we can try and go on some form of run now. Big up to you all. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we'll see you next time. We're out of here, people.